Hi, I'm Brandon. I love Hallmark Christmas movies.
Hi, I'm Jax, and I like Hallmark Christmas movies.
Oh, I really want to do a voice like yours, but I can't. I'm Patrick, and I like Christmas movies too.
Wow, we're
Brian, I'm here because I am the one who likes the Christmas movies. Ryan, you got something to say?
back to you, Ryan.
I think you're lashing out irrationally, Bri.
I'm Alonzo, and here we are talking about Hallmark Christmas movies again.
I'm Dan, and I despise Hallmark Christmas movies, and this is the
Deck the Hallmark Podcast.
Deck the Hallmark, it's his podcast. Brandon and friends host his podcast. We hope you like this jolly podcast.
Well. Hello, everybody.
Unbelievable.
Welcome back.
Hello, Bri.
To another episode of Deck the Hallmark,
You bet it.
reviewing the second
Is
new Hallmark Christmas movie of the holiday season. It is also the final thing we're doing during the marathon.
That's right.
sure
We're in
is.
hour 29 right now, Brand.
That's right, Dan.
29.
29.
28,
No,
what is it?
20. We started at 6, so we've been 4 hours and 12 minutes more. We're in the 29th hour.
How about
29th
that?
hour.
How about
Yep.
that?
Wow.
You
Sure.
love to see it. You love to see it. It's been a lot of fun. What's been your favorite part, Bri?
You know, I was just thinking about this. My favorite part, probably the most exhilarating part, is when Martin, freaking the spreadsheets, Lumenthal comes in with an update.
Oh,
It
yeah.
is really
Oh,
exciting.
yeah. He runs in, and we don't know what's going to happen. And
Yeah.
let me just get you up to speed, Brand. We've been raising money for beloved Asheville, Hurricane Helene
Yeah.
survivors, and the double deckers have come through huge in a way we
Clutch.
never even thought possible. There were blitzes, there were exhortations, there were spoken words, there were acoustic guitars, and so far, with a few minutes left in our marathon, we're over $26,000.
Wow.
Now, if you're watching live, you can still donate until the end of this episode. We're going to come in as close as we can with a total at the end of this episode. We're going to say Merry Christmas, and we're going to be done with this thing. And it couldn't have been done without all the wonderful co-hosts of Deck the Hallmark.
That's right.
Patrick, Jax, Brian, Ryan, Alonzo. Couldn't have been done without them. Couldn't have been done without producer extraordinaire Aaron Shea.
Yeah.
Couldn't have been done without our amazing support staff, Sheila, Elizabeth, Martin, and Langley, who've been here the
Yeah.
whole time. Couldn't have been done without the Oakview Inn.
Yes.
Brand,
True.
Who's been an amazing partner for this, gave us a discount. This place has been amazing. We'd love to do it again here next year. It's been
Yes, we
quite an adventure, Brand, and we're better for it.
We sure are, Dano. And you might be wondering if you're listening to this on a Tuesday. Boy, it sounds like I missed out.
You did.
You did, but one
Yeah.
thing you didn't miss out on is our new card game that we are releasing alongside Think and Think Games. It's called Christmas Movie Magic, and it is officially on sale. It's going to be, I think, going out starting October 28th. So we're very excited about that. So stay tuned. More info on that.
Great stocking stuff.
But it's a
Yeah.
fantastic game, and we're really excited about that. We're really excited to partner with Greenville. Visit Greenville again this year as our location sponsor. Dan, there's nowhere else we'd rather be recording this show. A lot of people say, why don't you go to like LA with the big wigs and stuff? And we say, LA schmele.
Yeah.
It's nothing. No
We do say
offense.
that.
I love
It's
it.
nothing.
No.
It's nothing
Sure,
on.
none taken.
Yeah, that Greenville. We love
Sounds like
it.
some was taken.
And I think everyone would agree there's something magical about the city of Greenville around the holiday season. We'd love for you to come and check it out. You got the ice skating rinks that will be popping up soon, the parade that's happening in December. So many reasons to check it out. It's so much fun. And one last thing, I know you wanted to talk about this, so I'll let you do it, but you wanted to talk about Philo and how much it means to you. So
Yeah.
go ahead, talk about Philo.
The holiday hub
Yeah.
is basically
Yeah.
the two main words that we can circle this around. The
Holiday Movie Hub.
Yeah, you could even say it's the holiday movie hub. So many channels, so many movies. Save your movies on the DVR. Get them all year. Maybe.
But what if what if I run out of space?
I don't think that's gonna happen,
You
Brad.
can't.
I don't think it's possible.
Really?
Yeah.
It's
Space-
unlimited.
Unlimited
Tammy
DVR.
Philo says
know.
it's not
Someone
gonna
told my
happen.
mother.
That's a guarantee. So yeah, you want Philo. You want
You
Philo,
do.
and you watch Deck the Hallmark
Oh, I
on
think so.
Philo.
That's right. You
That's-
can watch all the movies that we're talking about. You can also watch all the episodes of Deck the Hallmark all in one nice central place. Philo.tv/DTH to get started today. It's going to be a lot of fun. Let's talk about the movie that we're here to talk about. We are talking about The Christmas Crashers.
Holiday
Crashers.
Crashers, maybe even.
That was a Christmas crash right there.
No, but they did call themselves Christmas
They did.
Crashers,
Yeah,
so I
multiple
understand why you're
times.
saying
They
that.
did.
Brand that in.
That was the
confusing.
original
Previous
title.
Holiday Crashers.
Yeah.
Holiday Crashers is what we're talking
This
about
just
today.
in.
Shall I synopsisize it?
Please synopsis.
Please do.
I
Thank
wish
you. It
would.
originally premiered on October 19th, 2024. A little late, if you ask me, and it went a little something like this. The movie kicks off with some shooby-dooby. We're in a card shop, similar, like think about a Hallmark shop, but it's not a Hallmark shop. It's totally different. We
Custom
meet,
printing.
yeah, it's custom printing, and we meet best friends Tony and Bree. They have been best friends forever, and they also work at the same place. They've worked there for a while now. So at this shop, they make custom party invitations. They print them, the Christmas cards, all that good stuff. And in one case, they have to deliver these Christmas invitations to a house that's having a party at that time. They mingle there, some might say a little too long. They're on the job. And Bree bumps into this one guy, and they're like, "Who you?"
Who you?
And that's it.
Who
But
dat?
they're sparks. And then she gets the heck out of there. But they both are like, that was pretty fun. Maybe we should go to more parties. She goes to visit her dad, who is a lawyer. He's the type of lawyer that has like songs in his commercials.
You know the
Bus
type.
benches.
And benches and whatnot. And Tony was actually almost a lawyer. She graduated from law school, didn't bar that sucker though, so she's not actually a lawyer. But she's just taking a pause, she says, but she's kind of floundering a little bit, much to her father's chagrin. She's kind of in her feels that night though, and Bree is like, well, what if we go to another party? She shows her this invitation to a fancy party the next night that she found the invitation at work. And so they decide to go for it, and they are immediately greeted by the owner of the house. You think that might be problematic. It's not. They lie about who they are, and they're like, wow, lying works. And guess who else is there? The guy from the other nights. And he immediately takes Tony a drink. Tony says, are you sure that drink is safe? He's like, good point. Gets different drinks. His name's Justin Harrison, and he's an acquisition guy. Bree saves her from the conversation and the night, and they end up just goofing off all night, a couple of goofs. They leave, and Tony waves at Justin, and his dimples just dimple. You know what I mean? They just pop right off his face. And we found out that you can get dimples if you don't have them. $5,000 to $7,000 if you're interested in that.
It's reasonable.
It's
It is.
reasonable if you think about it. We don't
can't
know if
afford
that
not
is
to.
per
Yeah.
dimple or
I'll
in
get
a
back to you
pair.
by the time we get.
Not sure if that's a per dim cost or not. They get a crazy idea. Let's go to every party imaginable because we have access to all these cards at the thing, and or the invitations, so we know where all the best parties are going to be. And then they just go and they lie about who they are. It's big fun, partying with the bigwigs. But at one party, she sees Justin again, and somebody that Tony actually knows from law school. And she is going into labor, and so now Justin needs a replacement for her. And guess who's standing right there is Tony.
Tony.
And so she is going to obviously have to work, but also going to have to go on the retreat in Vermont. So you have to sometimes. So obviously Bree is tagging along, and it's a good thing because Vinny the valet is there. And Vinny the valet and Bree are clearly into each other. They have locked eyes multiple times at multiple parties, and they don't waste any time. They kiss like first night right out of the gate. Justin and Tony, though, they're going to need, a little longer because they're the A storyline, and we got a lot to get to here. It's going to take some time, but they do spend just a ton of time together. They're talking about each other and sharing some things, but obviously not coming cling to the fact that she's not a lawyer. She's going to keep that going a little bit longer. And apparently, Justin, though, he has a thing for liars. His ex, was a great liar, one of the best. And, I'm sure it's not going to bother him at all when he finds out that she's been lying to him. To make matters worse, Bree basically just tells Vinny everything, just spills all them beans. And so that's unfortunate. One night, they're all together, and Tony gets really mad when she sees these guys making fun of her dad's commercial. She goes outside. He comes out and is like, so, your dad's the commercial guy, huh? And you might think that might be a perfect opportunity to come clean. It's not. They kiss instead. And, I mean, it's good, but what can you do? They kiss huge ones. He's like, I have an insane crush on you. It's huge. It's great. It's wonderful. But mid-kiss, they get interrupted by Bree, who is mad because I guess Vinny lied to her about his business because he owns it and, is probably rich at this point, which we all hate. He ends up showing up at her work, though, and he's like, I like you so much. I think you're amazing. And she's like, okay, thanks. And they kiss some more. Tony goes to tell Justin the truth about who she is. But he already knows who she is because his assistant gives him a folder laying it all out. And so he's like, I know who you are. And she's like, I'm going to try to explain myself. But he just kind of stares at her. And so she leaves. Cut to 1 year later. She is now in business with her dad. She passed that bar. She's a real lawyer with real commercials and probably real benches as well. You know who's seen the commercials, though? Justin. He's seen them, but he's not ready to forgive her quite yet. Bree is in party planning now and is crushing that. And she's also getting married. Great dress, great dance, great time. Guess who ends up crashing that party? It's Justin, and he's like, I'm here to tell you that I forgive you and I want to start over, to which she walks away. End of movie. Just kidding. She comes back with drinks, introduces herself. They end up toasting. They end up dancing. They end up kissing, and he lifts her up in slow-mo. And that, my friends, was Holiday Crashers.
We did it.
We did do it. Hey, let's take a quick break. We'll come back. We'll get to, I believe we're going to do 4 segments tonight. If we can fit them all in. We'll see what we can do. I don't know. I don't know. But we'll be right back here on
Deck the Hallmark.
Yeah, don't get used to it.
Welcome back, everybody. We're talking about Holiday Crashers today, and we get the whole gang with us, which is a lot of fun. We're going to break this movie down with 4 segments. We're going to start with the hot take. It is where we share exactly how we felt about the movie. We're not going to hold back one bit. And I'll start with one guy who he once held back.
Whoa, yeah, I remember
People
this.
called it on
I
him,
thought we weren't going to talk about it.
and he hasn't held back since. Brian, take it away.
Yeah, this I liked it. I mean, I
Wow.
don't know how else to
Wow.
say it.
That.
I don't know. I'm
He
not going to
definitely
hold
didn't
back.
there, Brady.
I'm not going to hold back.
He's bringing heat.
That was razzle dazzle.
All the lying was a little stressful. But it didn't feel like a throwaway. We're kicking off the weekend. Everybody's hyped up. We're just gonna throw something on the screen. Like, it felt like substantial. Like, there's a lot going on here. Some actual story stuff going on. The Party Crashers. That's so cool. I could never. Like, I don't have that kind of confidence. And I was like, I'm so jealous of those. If you have confidence, it's like you can do anything in the world. Like, you pull up and there's a parking spot there for you whenever you pull up to a
Ryan
restaurant.
always says there's always a parking spot for Dan.
It's
time we go anywhere.
unreal. I don't have that. I can't. I
You
wish
don't
I
have,
could.
you
I don't have
parking
it.
spot energy.
I don't have
like
that kind of energy.
But
I don't
you
have
won
it.
the billiard tournament.
I
That's
know.
true, and
It's a
that's
small
not
step
nothing.
for me,
Yeah.
Jax. We'll get in there. So something that didn't track for me was when what was her name? Bree. She got upset with finding out that Vinny was the business owner. I'm like, she's super confident. Like, this she wouldn't get upset by this. So that was one thing I was like, oh, I don't like that so much. But I guess maybe she was just in her head about it. Other than that little thing and the lying being a little stressful, really, really like this one. Off to a great start this weekend. 2 for 2, batting 1,000. Right, Ryan?
How about that? Ryan, what'd you think, buddy?
Yeah, I liked it.
Man, the
Heard
heat,
this before.
It is just like, man, the fastballs are just Popping the mitt.
Yeah, I know we're 100% 2 for 2. I said about halfway through this film that maybe there just won't be a bad one this year. And
You said that earlier today too. You're really calling your shot.
I mean, like, you know, if nothing but optimistic when watching things that I care about. I give Hallmark a lot of credit for a bunch of things. During the preview, I think we all said to some degree, but Jax, I think you said specifically, you know, like, but maybe both of you said that. Like, we're gonna do buddy cop or buddy film for about 10 minutes, and then we're just gonna forget about it.
They didn't do it.
This was a buddy film first and foremost. Mileage may vary on what you thought about the romances, but the most important relationship in the film was the two female leads being friends, which I think is awesome. I give Hallmark a lot of credit. The family dynamics of all the characters were talked about with sophistication and care, and they mattered to the plot. Her relationship with her father was really important, and I thought that was great. It was a driver for the story, which was important. The B romance was better than the A romance, but again, who cares? Like, I mean, in the sense of that, like, they both were effective. I just thought that the B romance was better to that point. Both leads were great, but Daniela Monet really popped from jump. She's awesome, and I'm not just saying that because of me, and because she was a fixture on networks that showed programming that I liked when I was younger. She was awesome.
Such a long way to say Nickelodeon.
Yeah, just say Nickelodeon.
It was like he wasn't allowed to.
Right.
I liked it.
Like Harvard, you know.
Yeah, Harvard.
They have Nickelodeon on Philo. You can talk about it if you want to.
She was also on Nickelodeon back in the day. Yeah. Wow. And then,
You can't say that, can he?
There's so
You
many of
can't
us
say
here,
that.
so like the big things will be covered. But what I liked most about this film, not only was the female lead relationship the most important, but they also didn't bother giving them a 7-minute falling out.
Yeah.
They're just friends, and that's great. Let's zig when people expect us to zag. We're 2 for 2. We're gonna be 41 for 41 or whatever the math is. Nickelodeon.
Okay, we'll bleep it out. Patrick, what you think, buddy?
Oh my gosh, we're going out of order. Okay, so I agree with everything these guys said. I was really nervous at the beginning when we had 2 montages in the first 20 minutes. I was like, uh-oh, we're already at montage time. So that can be problematic. And they weren't dumb montages. They were like, we're partying, we're having so much fun montages. And they were funny. So that was good. It wasn't like your typical like Christmas baking montage. I thought the direction overall like kind of took things in a different way. There was a lot of funny moments that were put into the movie that were really fun. And yeah, I think that overall really good. Oh, I also really like the lawyer commercials. Like those are so good. Like they are so like true to life.
And
like,
a bad one.
I can think of like so many from just like different cities. And everybody has that lawyer in their city. So very relatable. Who's yours?
Right? Hawk Law?
Hawk Law's a great
Probably
one.
Hawk Law.
Yeah, Hawk Law.
Yeah.
Joel Bieber.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
Blah,
a good
blah,
one.
blah.
Blah, blah, blah.
Blah, blah.
Cars for Kids. I think we can all, obviously, we love.
Yeah, I mean that.
Yeah, I mean, not lawyers,
Don't.
but.
We're going to have to bleep that too, I think.
No.
You can't say
Wait,
that.
that-
No.
2 for
we
2.
can
That
say
is
Nickelodeon.
the
but
devil
come on,
earworm.
man.
No.
Great jingle. Jax, what'd you think?
Yeah, I loved this. I got emotional at the end. Look, Anna Kemp, who is one of my friends that works at Hallmark, was one of the execs behind this. And I was like, this movie's really good. And she said that this was their like tribute to Wedding Crashers, as we were saying, and Suits. And I so feel the buddy comedy of Suits in this. I loved it. Daniela Monet was on fire. Like Ryan and I were making eye contact so much, just being like, she's killing it. Lindsay Fonseca, she's incredible in this movie. I cried at the end. I cried when Lindsay Fonseca was on the car commercial with their dad. I don't know if it's because I'm with my friends and we raised a lot of money and I love the double deckers and I love this community. Or it was also just
It was sweet.
it was really sweet that they were there in
Or
the car
sleep
commercial with their dad.
deprivation.
It could also be sleep deprivation, but I really, really like this one and I'm really glad that I had it in my draft picks.
Yeah.
Wow, yeah, that is a
big
really
one.
good draft.
Oh, and
which is
and
big
just
one.
quick, the dimpleplasty. I confirmed it's both dimples. It's only $1,500 in New York to do it, but ranging all the way to $6,000 in
You got to
places
feel like that
Houston,
1,500
Texas.
surgery you don't want. You don't want 1,500.
What is that? Do they just just carve out a little?
Yeah, they carve
They
out a
pinch you.
little.
Wow.
You
Just
have
kind of
to-
poke you a little.
you have to be mentally sound, and they ask you all these, and you have to make sure that your face works.
How do
with
you
it.
even prove that? You
It's tough
know.
out there.
Exactly.
So yeah, there's a lot that has been said. that I could re-harp on, but I won't. I'll just say this. Great. Loved it. Great wedding. Great dress. Great dance. Great friendship.
Great lift.
Great lift.
Right, oh.
Yeah. Can we talk about that lift?
I'd love to.
Can we talk about that lift?
Yeah.
It's a lot of things that Hallmark didn't have to do.
You're
They
right.
didn't have to give us the buddy comedy stuff. They didn't have to give you such a nice dress.
They didn't have to
They
get
didn't
$6,000 dimple surgery.
They didn't have to give him the dimple surgery. They didn't have to have that awesome dance scene. They didn't have to end with a lift. They did all of that, and for that, I tip my hat and I say thank you, 2 for 2. And I'm already stressed about my list because I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what I'm doing yet, guys. Even with just yesterday's movie in comparison, I don't know what to do.
You don't know which one you like better?
I don't know yet. I don't know
Really?
yet.
It was
I
easier
like
when
them
the
both.
Friday movie was bad.
I like them. I like them a lot for different reasons. I like them a lot for different reasons. I'll see what I'll do. I'll figure it out at some point. Alonzo.
I already put it.
There is a black hole sucking all the light out of this movie, and his name is Chris McNally.
Bingo.
I'm sorry. And don't at me, Hardee's. This is not a judgment of him in
He's so
general.
right.
But in this movie,
Yes.
he is such a stick. He is
Yes.
a walking no fun zone with a
100%.
questionable haircut,
Agree.
and he has zero chemistry with Lindsay Fonseca.
No, strong disagree,
yeah.
Alonzo.
I agree with you.
Lindsay Fonseca and Daniela Monet, bam,
That's true.
explosive. Daniela Monet and Jag Bal, bam, explosive. Chris McNally walks on screen and the whole thing deflates. I'm sorry. I like that. Yes, the female friendship is handled well. It is given a place of priority. They don't have some stupid argument. Lindsay Fonseca's character arc is interesting. Whole big bushel of wait whats when it comes to some of the Danielle Monet stuff. Although she is very funny and a lot of fun, and clearly staking her claim to eventually have an A story of her own in one of these.
Yep.
But McNally kills this movie in the worst way, and it made it not work in the aggregate for me.
But what do you think of his haircut in it?
Don't like it.
I love
that was a big.
I wish I had hair
At
like
the
that.
first commercial break, I was talking to Alonzo and I was like, is McNally just not working here? And Alonzo had faith and said, they're going to let him loosen up here. They're going to let him loosen up. And then they just didn't. Here's my thing is this movie, when Lindsay Fonseca, a revelation of this movie, I liked her just fine in Where Are You Christmas? She's so quirky and funny and wonderful in this movie. Daniela Monet, amazing. When it's about those two, most of the time I really like it. The Chris McNally, Lindsay Fonseca storyline, I don't think works at all. The other thing that bothered me about this movie is everyone in this movie is a lying liar who lies, and that's fine. I actually like it better when every main character is lying about something, but they also seem to take it really personal when they've been lied to, which is a weird posture to take when you are lying regularly. And it's probably because you're more sensitive to it, but also you have to at least look at yourself and be like, hey, this is what I do regularly. Having said that, really encouraged by the direction Hallmark's heading. As far as the first 2 movies of the year go, it could be a lot worse. I think that we're in a really good spot to have some really good movies. I would say the best 1-2 punch of any holiday season I've covered, even if I still I think I maybe have this movie slightly above Fridays because the degree of difficulty was higher, and it was actually what Ryan said, really a female buddy comedy.
Yeah.
Tracy Andreen's writing it. There's some really funny lines. And so when this movie works, it absolutely sparkles. It just moves. But then, there's some times when it just starts becoming molasses and the chemistry isn't there, and that's unfortunate. I think it's a higher degree of difficulty than the movie last night. If last night was a 5.8, this is right there with it. Maybe 5.9, 6.0. That's where I am.
I thought we weren't going past just the 1 decimal point.
No.
5.9 or 6.0.
Oh, okay. Like 5,
I did not
6.
say-
So I thought we were.
Yeah.
It's
okay.
a 5.960, and I think that's as
Okay,
clear as,
sure,
as
I
you
got
can
it.
be in this case. It's time for all the feels before we talk about what this movie gave us feels. Pat, no, I'll start with you.
I'll
Brian.
take this one. Yeah. The
Rap, jet,
I'm
Brian.
still mad about the slander, and I'll get to
The
it.
slander?
Slander. I don't like the
Just an
slander.
opinion. It's not
The,
like I said the groomsman was worse than the wedding veil or anything.
Oh man,
We'll see. We'll review it later this week.
Yeah. Who knows?
I think it could happen.
Go ahead, Brian.
yeah, the outfits were so freaking festive in this movie. It was phenomenal. When Bree showed up to the lodge in Vermont, it was like a standout look, and it just didn't stop. The wedding, the Hindu wedding, they didn't, like you said, they didn't have to go that hard. They were dressed so nicely, and the dance, like, just, I don't know, the whole, like, look of it looks like a lot of attention was paid to that, and, I don't know, it popped off the screen to me.
Absolutely. Rye?
The wedding was amazing. I will let somebody else cover it in detail. Obviously, that's the biggest feel of the movie, in my opinion. But at one point, she lies, because everybody lies, and she says that she's an F1 driver, which is fun, because her last name is Andretti, and he was a race car driver. So that's very fun.
No, the other one says she's an F1 driver.
She did, yeah. Bree did.
It's really fun that there's
Andretti is a connection there.
and it's really nice to see Hallmark trying to not just counter-program against the Yankees and Guardians when which this was airing, but try to grab some of those sports fans as well.
That's right. Yeah, it was a big move on that
That's a
part.
great
It was
point,
really smart by
Rob.
Hallmark.
They doubled them up.
Yeah,
you
for
would
sure.
say.
Just crushing in every sense.
Yeah,
Great
sure.
point.
Vroom,
Patrick?
vroom, literally.
Vroom, vroom. Patrick?
So we talked a little bit about family dynamics.
Sure.
There was this argument at the beginning of the movie with the daughter and the dad, and it really got me like sometimes like I get sassy with my parents, and I felt that she was really out of line when she was saying like her dad was a loser lawyer TV guy,
Yeah,
and that
she
he
did
was
say
like,
that.
what did she say he was called? She said he was like
Not
like-
a real lawyer, I believe.
yeah, or like a loser.
You think I'm not a lawyer, you're not a lawyer.
Yeah,
Like one of
and
those
like
numbers.
your commercials are embarrassing.
Yeah.
And like, oh my god.
And I hate you.
Right, and then she like runs out of the house and slams the door.
You're
and,
not my
like,
real dad.
Right,
Stuff like
and he's
that.
like, Angela, come back, or
Yeah.
whatever her name is.
Yeah, Angela.
Antonia.
Yeah.
My Antonia.
Yes, so that family arguing stressed me out.
Yeah.
It gave me feels of whoa, this
feels.
family is
Well,
hot.
feels.
Hot,
Woe feels.
yeah.
Jax?
That actually also did something for me, Patrick, because I feel like I'm not very sassy with my parents, but when I've in the past accidentally said things that have hurt their feelings, it's like it's really, really devastating. So I definitely felt that. I think for me,
It's nice we have your mom on the line.
Oh, great.
Bring her up.
but love you, Mom.
Love you,
Dad.
Mom.
I think the biggest feel for me though was the dance that Bree and her husband got to do at the wedding, closely followed by Danielle and Monet's 2 different pairs of leather pants.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Her wardrobe in general was amazing.
Unbelievable.
good.
It really was.
Unbelievable.
Really good.
Yeah, this wedding was wonderful.
The wedding was unbelievable.
This is, we've seen some weddings in our days, both in real life, but I'm talking
We've seen
mainly.
some weddings in our days.
Yes, weddings in our days. Collectively, we've
Yeah.
seen some weddings.
I
I
would
had to be
say-
plural there. He's
How
right.
many?
11
How many
people in this
weddings?
house.
How many weddings do you think we've seen on Hallmark Channel? How many do you think we've seen?
Oh,
We've watched probably 1,000 movies, so. Couple
Best
hundred-
dress, easy.
Couple hundred.
Yeah.
Best dress,
It's the best dress in the
easy.
history of Hallmark.
Easy,
Yeah.
yeah.
Best dress, easy. It was. It was just wonderful. And I think it's the only time a bride has walked down the aisle in a Hallmark movie, and everybody was like, "Wow, they're really doing it."
Yep.
And
Wait,
that's nice.
Well,
that's
you
nice.
said I'll piggy back there. You said Hallmark didn't have to go this hard, and my first thought was, it's about time Hallmark actually did this authentically, and
Yes.
like it seemed like they really put an effort into all the way down to the dance between the bride and the groom. I thought it was great, and it was like, you're right, they didn't have to go this hard, but they finally are,
Yeah.
which is
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah, it is nice when they go hard for sure. Alonzo?
Yeah, the 2 women who wrote this know what they're doing. Tracy Andreen, Hallmark vet, also Lee Friedlander, Hallmark vet, and
Yeah.
like lesbian indie vet. Like they've been around, and a lot of the jokes here are really great, especially in terms of the way men behave in these movies. So when McNally's looking at her picture from the party, and the guy walks in and says "stalker," and the whole thing
That was
about the
good.
are
Great.
these drinks
Yeah.
safe, and All of that, the doula tips that she's giving the party. Like, there's fun stuff. I liked the party montage just because the two of them are so fun and they're like clearly relishing the comic possibilities of that. The fact that the snooty lady, the second party they go to, is named Deborah Van Clout, That was all very funny. I liked all of that stuff. And yeah, the wedding is terrific. Is Hallmark decades late on the Bollywood craze coming to the United States? Yes, they are. But they got there. And we have a bride with an exposed midriff, and hallelujah.
Man,
Here we are.
unbelievable.
Let's take a quick break. We'll come back. We'll get to the way, what, and the what, the Hallmark.
I picky biggy.
Yeah, you
we're
picky
good.
biggies.
We're good. Yeah, we're good.
Did you
I
have something
No,
else?
no, that's perfect. You're good. Get moving.
Okay, take the Hallmark.
Take the Hallmark. I knew it would go downhill. Brian, why'd you say it out loud?
Welcome back, everybody. Stack the Hallmark. Hi. It's time for the way it was, where we're talking about what in this movie the holiday crashers made us go, wait, what? I'll start with you, Brian.
Yeah. I just feel like you gotta vet your law consultants. Even if you can trust Letitia and do your due diligence at the same time. Like you don't have to do just one. And I feel like when you're bringing somebody on as a law consultant, that's just a very basic step that you're gonna take. Is just go through the process. They didn't do it and paid the price. So lesson learned, I hope. The her friend there, Penny, Tony's friend, who worked at Skyline, she had all these internal documents, all these problems that she knew about. She was just sitting on them, waiting for the phone to ring. Like, was she ever gonna reach out? Like, why wouldn't she reach out to somebody?
You talking about Penny? Penny?
Penny. She worked at Skyline.
Yes.
She had a She said, "I'm gonna buy a car, but I'd never buy a car from Skyline." Why did it come to Tony having to reach out to her? Like, just make a phone call, make an anonymous tip, something like that. The last one is that it just feels like a bit of a gray area with Tony working for consulting for the law office, and her dad is representing
A little bit.
Yeah, she's playing both sides against the
it's just a little bit of a gray. It was just a little bit of a distraction. And so that just.
In her defense, she's not a real lawyer, so
that's true.
You get to do
It's
what you
a
want.
gray
She's
area.
messing with a lot of other people's confidentiality.
It's a gray area.
agreements.
That's all I'm
For
saying.
sure.
So that'll do for me.
Ryan?
When do you guys take the toothpick out of the sandwich?
I mean,
Before I take a bite,
I mean,
for sure.
Usually,
especially if there's a
before the
pickle on top of it. You
Right.
gotta take that.
At
gonna
worst, you
stab you in the
forgot in
face.
one bite, right?
Yeah.
Because this guy.
You're getting dangerous.
It
because
just
it's
lives
close
there.
to
I mean,
death.
he's like eating around it. It's like Brian with the peanut in the center of the Tootsie Pop or whatever it is, right? Those
Licking around the
peanut
nut,
Tootsie
that's
Pops.
right.
He's licking around the nut.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's a
Yeah.
pro.
Licking
move, though.
around the
This guy's a
toothpick.
pro. He knows how to eat a sandwich. He's
You
fine.
support it.
He's fine.
All right.
Yeah, he's
so
fine.
it just concerned me. I was worried about his health. And then really only one other because the movie was delightful. Tony was written to be very smart. She's self-aware. She should once they're at the lodge and they're like, "Oh, weren't you in the Olympics?" And the Justin guy's right there. He knows. Like
Yeah.
she should. Like
Yeah.
that was the one time they were like, "Let's be Hallmark here. Like let's do it." And so that didn't sit well with me, but it's okay.
There you go.
Oh,
Patrick?
silly. So we've been talking a lot during the marathon. Well, we've been talking a lot.
We
but
have,
You hear
that's
my
true.
voice. To hear my voice.
Listen.
Right. About queer representation this year and kind of like how there's not going to be like a movie with queer leads. And it was a little disappointing or like a head scratcher to see like these queer coded characters, like the lesbian barista who isn't explicitly a lesbian, but she's queer coded.
Somebody
right?
tell her hair that.
Right, exactly. And same with like the assistant, the gay assistant, which is a trope that goes back way long. And these are the roles that as a queer actor I would see myself in and be like, oh yeah, that's the part I would play. So it was a little disappointing to see that, and nothing like more to come of it. Because it kind of felt like there was a moment with Brie and the barista where I was like, wait, what's happening here?
She and the barista have more chemistry than Lindsay Fonseca and Chris McNally do.
Yes, absolutely.
Fair.
So I just want, I'm sure that, people involved are like queer friendly or you had mentioned one of the
Yeah,
writers
Free
Yeah.
is queer. So I'm sure they're aware of that. But I just want to point it out to the viewers just so you see like kind of like a few steps taken back an example of what that looks like, and this would be a good example of that.
Is that it?
Yes.
Jax?
Yeah, so well said. And also, yeah, this was 10 years ago. We'd be so excited if they were square.
So
Yeah,
excited.
but yeah, I totally agree.
And I still was excited.
I thought I know too, because we looked at each other like, oh yeah,
We're
is
like,
that Brisa? Yeah,
yep,
absolutely.
I see you.
And she was a hottie. I was into it. I think my biggest what was just canapes? Was she joking around about how to say canapes? Does anyone remember this?
I thought they said canapes. She said canopies.
Canopies.
Oh.
And I couldn't tell if that was her being silly and joking around, or also, which I really appreciate about her character, because like I come from a really small town, and like I get it. These kind of parties were foreign to me before I moved to the big city. Maybe she, maybe like I used to say Hermes, Hermes. I didn't know, and so maybe she doesn't know exactly. Exactly. So maybe she doesn't know, but I think she said canopies.
I mean, I think as somebody who crushes it with the grammar and the words all the time,
Consistent.
You do,
like
yes.
I think, like
Yeah, of course.
she probably just really blew it. Like
Yeah.
that's probably the only.
She probably just blew
Was it
She
a
probably
Jewish
just blew it.
wedding? Because then there would be cannabis.
She probably just blew it.
that.
I have a few. One, they're in this area, and these guys are watching a sports game on TV.
This is bad.
We got to do most of the work to figure out that it's a sports game, though, because the shot they show on the TV is from behind a crowd, and the whatever the game is, soccer, I believe, is blurry behind them. But the guys are like, "Yeah, you go, man." So they're just like, maybe this is like a weird thing that I don't know about, like a
Bleacher
underground. Like, hey, let's cheer for people that are in the stands of sports games. I don't know. Like, yeah, you go. My money's on the guy with the red shirt I bet he high-fives somebody. I don't know. Sports betting's gotten out of control. I think we can all agree.
Oh,
Yeah.
for sure.
I'm sure there is some sort of sports betting app that's like, does the guy in the first row high-five somebody before this? I don't know what the sport was, though, that they're shooting for here. She's leaving her parents' house, and they have an all-brass version of "Oh Christmas Tree" playing, which was wonderful, but they had it turned up to at least 1,000. It was so loud, and they just wanted you to know, we got the brass, baby! And I wasn't upset about it, but it was really loud. And then I found it interesting that this law office that is really nice law office had just a massive, straight-up square TV. Every TV nowadays, nice landscape 16:9, not this place. It's just a square, and it's convenient because the law commercial was shot in 4:3, and so it worked out really well, I think, for their law office.
Classic
but
square
you
TV
know,
situation.
sometimes it pays off.
You
Sometimes
put them
it
on
pays
the
off.
old Murder, She Wrote episodes.
Oh,
and,
it's
you know,
wonderful.
yeah.
It's wonderful. But it's they found the biggest square TV I think to ever exist. Flat screen square in their law office, and it's wonderful. Alonzo?
Yeah, we joked about this earlier, but she went to Harvard, except she went to Haltward.
Haltward.
Like, come on.
They went
man.
to Haltward.
Harvard is a thing
Haltward.
in public that you don't have to buy the rights to it. You can just say it, and we know what it is. And if you're not going to say it, come up with something better than Haltward.
That's right.
Don't promise me a weird puppet show and then not deliver. Like, that was
That's pretty wild.
Not
Fool me once, am I
not
right?
particularly weird, and that was a lot of setup for not much. You take it to the tape. This is a quick moment, but I couldn't believe it. She's talking to the dad and on the phone, and he has a sugar cookie that's shaped like a snowman, and he's dunking the head in a glass of milk, and then he bites the arm off.
Oh boy.
What are we doing here? Like, not only can this man not eat a sandwich, he also does not know how cookies work.
It's disrespectful.
Yes, to everyone involved. And then finally,
And the cookie.
she shows up at after McGarry knows that she's been lying. She shows up at his
McNally.
office.
Gary.
McNally.
Oh, sorry,
boy.
McNally.
Sorry.
She was in
Sorry.
She was
Forgive me.
crying. She was
Thanks.
See
crying.
you next month to tell Cole.
Yeah, right.
McNally.
Yes.
She shows up at his office, and the first thing out of her mouth is, "Oh, we should talk about Skyline Motors." And he's like, "No, we're not going to because you're a liar." She said, "Well, that's what I came to tell you." I'm like, "Well, then maybe start with that."
Yeah.
Yep.
If you
Yeah.
open with Skyline Motors, it sounds like you're going to continue lying. If you have come to confess, then I would
Bingo.
I would
Yes.
get that
Yeah.
out
Bingo, bango.
first.
Yeah.
Dana?
Most of them have been taken. There's 7 of us. I do love that Vinny said he can always spot a wedding crasher a Christmas party crasher a mile away because they're the ones having the most fun, which is quite a statement. What you're saying is that no one at a Christmas party they've been invited to can possibly
Enjoy themselves.
as much as someone that's there without being invited. Bold. It's a bold statement by Vinny. I'm just going to take his word for it that if Brand's at a Christmas party he was invited to, you're going to look and go, that's not the crasher because someone's having more fun.
Yeah, my
than
hands
Brand.
are tied. I can only legally.
As soon as you see a crasher, you got to dial it down.
You
right?
have to.
There's nothing
it's the
you can
law.
do.
I have to. If I'm at a 10, I have to come down to a 7.
Yeah.
Respect.
By invitation in your
I
pocket.
think
Take no
Brand is
fun
more
out of it.
likely to be the crasher. I think Vinny is talking about rich, boring people.
Brand goes to enough Christmas parties without having to crash any, I don't think.
No, but like these big fancy parties that they're going to,
Yeah.
like I feel like they're all rich, boring
I'm
The
people.
just
Deborah
saying-
Van Clout parties.
So-
you know.
I know
Yeah.
that you're invited to parties, Brand. I wasn't insinuating that.
Yeah, it seemed like you were. It was mean-spirited.
Been interpreted that way, but
I'm a hot
I know.
When Tony is trying to basically play both sides for the middle as not a lawyer, at one point her dad they try to write off any confidentiality issues with her dad saying, I guess technically you're still an employee from that summer you interned. Almost every word in that sentence is wrong. Interns and employees are different. That was a long time ago. If you did an internship somewhere 10 years ago, you're not still employed by them. That
I
is
guess you're
not
still employed from those months of free labor you
how
did for
the
us.
law works. Do you remember we almost had the intern for Bramble Jam?
That was fun.
What a time to be alive, and then just never showed up. And then lastly, and this is my big one, she gets really upset that 2 bros at a bar are laughing at her dad in a commercial where he has a candy cane crutch in a hospital bed singing. If you're not supposed to laugh, what are you supposed to do? What is the intended reaction when you see a grown man singing with candy cane decorated things to help him walk out of the hospital room as an ambulance chaser? Are you supposed to get really serious and go, this guy means business? You're supposed to go, this guy's funny and he should be my lawyer. You're supposed to laugh.
What a fine legal mind.
Like, I get it. You've had a fight with your dad. You're sensitive about it. I'm not trying to say there's not merit of that, but you can't possibly imagine a world where people don't see that. Laughing is probably the best possible reaction. Those guys are showing him some respect. He's got laughs from them. That's impressive. So that was crazy.
Yeah.
That's a crazy plot point. And it was the one time that literally it was a literal wait what for me. Like, what's the intent? What were we supposed to do?
What you don't know
Right.
is her dad's a veteran.
Funnier. It's funnier with Christmas themed crutches over there. Like, what is he doing?
Those guys chuckling are going to remember that toll-free number.
That's right.
That's
Yeah.
right.
That's
Exactly.
right. It's time for what? The Hallmark is where we wonder what could have been. Maybe get some clarity to questions that we still have. What are we still wondering about? You might be wondering. Not more, you won't. Go ahead, Brian.
Right. How did Tony and Bree just get to take off to go up to Vermont? The boss seemed very concerned
Yeah.
about
That's true.
work
That's a good point.
hours and who's available, and they just seem to be able to just take off.
That's
they
true.
call in
He
sick.
does say to Bree, "You're free
You're-
Christmas
yeah.
Eve, right?"
So, just no explanation about how they were able to be free for that trip.
That's a good point.
What up with that?
That's really good. What up with that? Right?
yeah, Alonso mentioned it. When will Danielle Monáe become get her own movie here? She elevated material. I feel like she would bring a different energy. So I'm hoping the answer is 2025.
Yeah.
But that's just me.
Yep.
No, here
No,
for it.
it's not
Here
just
for
you.
it.
Okay, that's just all of us.
Yeah, baby.
Not just all of us here. The collective.
Maybe in a
public.
movie with Janelle Monáe, I think
Yeah.
that would be awesome. Right?
Patrick?
Yes.
I wanted to see more of that pregnant friend.
Oh,
I
yeah, they
re-
kind of dropped that, huh?
yeah, like they're like, oh, she had the baby. Here's a picture of a baby.
Here she is a year later.
Right. I'm like, doesn't she work for this man's company? Like, can she be in more? Like, she was at like multiple parties, right?
Yeah.
I was like, she's like there. She just didn't
She's
have.
on maternity leave. I don't know. She's on maternity
I
leave.
understand maternity leave. Okay,
You want to get rid of it.
valid,
That's what I'm
but
hearing. You want to get rid of maternity leave. It's gotten out of
She
hand.
should be around all the time. Is what
I'm
you're
just saying, maybe
she
the
should
movie
be at
should
work.
just veered off to her. I want to see her raising the baby.
Yes.
You know,
Sure,
doing
that's right.
her.
Mm-hmm.
Coming
was
back
fine.
to work. She's got the baby in a baby.
Those early
Bjorn.
weeks are so important.
right.
They sure
yeah.
are, and we should be brought into that.
Yeah.
We should.
We should.
want
That's
to. We
super
want to
At
support her, and
Christmas,
however,
shoving it off
however we
screen.
can
At
support her, we
Christmas,
want to
no.
support her. I think that's important.
Okay.
Jax.
This is building on that. Yeah, if they wanted to sell us on the fact that Chris McNally,
That's right.
not
Yes.
McGarry.
She was a McNally or McGarry? McNally. got it.
McNally. The Chris McNally refers to her son as his nephew, and they're really close. And he's like, "I'll spoil him for the rest of his life." We probably do need a little more investment in her. So yeah, why can't she get her own movie? What's going on there? I
Yeah.
agree.
I just a few things like that I haven't really seen. Like, did McNally have to fight for his right to party hair wise? Like, was that
Yeah.
like a hey,
It
I'm
looked
not
good.
cutting my hair before this movie? Did Monet bring 2 pair of leather pants and say, I'm wearing these and there's nothing you can do about it? Like, these are things that we don't typically see on Hallmark Channel, and I don't know how much Hallmark Channel is now with these things that used to be like, you would never see the hair that McNally has
Past
on a
the
movie.
ears?
Yeah.
Past the
Wow.
years? What is this? College? Now, is it something that they're just like, do whatever you think is best? Or do you have to like get approval or whatever with things like that? Like 2 different leather pants. What is this?
College?
College?
Exactly. I really want to know more about Lesbian Chef, and also why is Lesbian Chef running the hot chocolate carts? Because she is a big enough deal that she is a name. Like they talk about her like she's Nancy Silverton or something.
Yeah.
Like she's a celebrity clearly
So
because
of course, hot chocolate card.
yeah,
Yeah,
she's gonna be standing in the middle of the lobby, like schlepping the hot chocolate and doing it wrong. I have many questions about her.
That might be why she's
with
doing
Danielle and Monet.
I guess like, that's where the action
yeah, I
is.
mean, yeah.
I would. I'm going to piggyback on Rise. I did not watch a lot of Schnickelodeon, which is the
Very
Hartford
nice.
of children's television programs. I didn't have a lot of familiarity with Ms. Monet, and she's wonderful, and I want to see her be the lead of a Hallmark movie or otherwise as soon as possible. That's what I want.
So their piggyback is just the same
It's the same.
in a sense. We did it.
There's 7 people. What do you want? From
I
No,
me?
texted
I
you a
just
good one.
want- I wanted
Dan,
to
I
make sure
texted
we
you
got
a
it.
good one if you need one real quick
did
there.
you? Yeah.
Sure
Let's
did.
see how good it is. Let's
you
find
read it
out.
verbatim.
Here it is.
Oh yeah, that's right. My what the homework is why didn't Bran take his shirt off for the whole episode?
Oh, I know. I was
Oh.
wondering. Yeah, what happened?
Although
Sorry.
technically we
Wait.
didn't get to 25 in the blitz. We got to
Correct.
24,977.
That's why. That's why.
That's why. But you can go for
Do
it.
you want to take it off? How are you
no,
feeling?
technical.
Your body, your choice.
Go ahead and explain while I
All right, Elizabeth's
robe.
going to bring in our final boot shot. So everybody grab a glass, and we're going to go over our final tally here,
Okay.
which this is exciting.
Thank you for remembering.
We have spent the last 30 hours almost exactly raising money for beloved Asheville, a nonprofit, boots on the ground, helping kids, helping adults, helping everyone with basic needs and just to live right now in a time that has been a pure horror for most people in Western North Carolina. You guys have answered the bell over and over again. A couple more to read out. Courtney Boise, $300.
Whoa.
Whoa.
Wow. Holy
Renee Gilhart, Teresa Campbell. So bummed to miss the festivities this weekend, but I have spent it with my grandkids at school events and building Lego sets, and it's been so fun. Hope you all had a great weekend. It sounds like you did, Teresa. Shannon Christensen, $200. Jax Acts. This
Whoa.
This
Can't wait.
brings me to $300. Any chance Jax will do a joint session for my niece and nephew? I will
Yes.
answer that for her.
would've done
Yes,
it for
she
Yes,
will.
come on. It's no brainer.
I also would love for Dan to do a shot. Good news, I've got one in my hand. Julie Stanky, $25. Jennifer Ehlers,
Stank got in on
$25. Michelle Morris, $50. And then I have one more. Ms. Andy Grimes, $500
Wow.
in honor of my mom, the last cookie in the Cookie Palooza, and an incredible woman with that donation, bringing the total for the marathon to $27,000, 285, 27,285.
Wow.
With 273 individual donations.
Wow.
Unbelievable. What a way to close out the marathon. We're going to take this shot. We're going to wish you a Merry Christmas, and we're going to go on with our merry day and go to bed. Thank you so much. You guys are the best community in the world. We love you so much. Brian, take it away.
May we be the first to wish you a
Merry
Christmas!
Deck the Hallmark is a Bramble Jam podcast. It's produced by Aaron Shea. For more information on Deck the Hallmark, you can go to deckthehallmark.com. For more information on the Deck the Hallmark family, you can go to bramblejamplus.com. Deck the Hallmark is presented by Philo TV. For a free trial of Philo, go to philo.tv/DTH.